Good day, dear teacher. I'm going to talk about of my second lesson plan. First, my name is Vanessa Victor. In this moment, I'm going to explain how to take my class. First, let's go to start with this activity, warm up activity. Then, let's go to give the introduction, the topic through this poster. Then we need to practice the vocabulary through flashcard. Um, After and the students have to do this exercise in class. And finally, a student have to do the short evaluation. This is the short evaluation. And in this moment, I'm going to explain step by step all my lesson plans and all the 10 points. The first point is informative date, the name of the school it doesn't apply. The topic is preposition of the place, and the date is July 7, 2020. The grade is for a student of the first baccalaureate. Duration of the class is for 5 minutes and proficiency level is elementary A2.2 CEFR. And the lesson plan designer is Vanessa Victor Parrales, my person. And the number 2 is about TEFL objectives, TOEFL objectives. And in this part, again, we need to apply the four skills, the four ability to practice in the class. First is listening. In listening, we need to identify and follow instructions. And speaking, will be able to accurately name the new vocabulary words about the preposition of place. And reading and recognize the vocabulary words. And writing is construct their own sentence and with the preposition of the place using information according what you mean. In this part, it's necessary to apply the four skills for students because when they need to practice for ability, the listening when the teacher explain the class, the speaking when the students talk or say some information, and reading when the teacher write in the board or the student write or the exercise or students also writing, and when the students do the activity, do the test, do the exercise, do the evaluations, and they put the ability in practice. The number 3, we have the methodology and strategies. In this part, I put a methodology, communicative approach, and audiolingual method, because the communicative approach is when the teacher communicate all the topic about detail and without this poster, and audiolingual method because the students and the teacher and the student interact all in the moment in the class. And strategies is individual work because in this topic is some sensitive, it's some easily for students because they put in practice for through pictures and also worksheet communicative activities. Number 4, we had the anticipatory set, and the teacher made use of the poster of user means to explain the user and structure for a good use of the prepositions. In addition to will be also the poster with pictures. How do see? Representing two prepositions, for example, in front of, next to, between, behind, it's an example, and that usually the student relate the use of the topic. The number 5 is the main teaching input, and in this part again the teacher explain step by step all activity to do in in this moment, in this class, in this day, for do the topic of developed topic. And for example, let's go to start with one an activity. The teacher will use the worksheet after having explained the preposition visually, in which worksheet will have sentence must completed with the preposition that the ident is appropriated after between image corresponding sentence. This is the one an activity. Okay, and read and match the right words. Then the teacher showed the structured preposition of the place. The teacher looked through students and worksheet with example sentence. The teacher was around checking and student understand. And the teacher and student check the answers. The teacher monitoring correct pronunciations. The teacher explained the follow activity describing a situation and develop an image, and the teacher monitoring correct pronunciation again, and the teacher conclude the class with the topic briefly. The number 6, and we have the modeling, and the teacher will start the class with the explanations of the structure and use of the place prepositions, including an image, and activities are performed at the beginning to complete the sentences that the student begin to relate of the subject, and supporting the teacher in a generated way. A similar exercise will be performed by the student individually assisting to the teacher, and group work in the formulation the sentence and we use an image. The number 7, guided practice. Students will solve a worksheet in which they will complete with the correct prepositions. After the activity that student will be chosen the read and respective answer to the great pronunciation and vocabulary. This is the exercise in class number 8, and we have the independent practice. A student will observe their study environment, perform 8 sentences using the prepositions according to object observed in the classroom. For example, my seat is next to the classroom door. It's an example, that imagined in the classroom or in the aula. And number 9, we have the assessment. And in this point, the students will observe a series of images. The work will be done to group of 4. And this activity consists in that each group is given approximately 4 pictures, in which the student will choose an objective from an image and write a sentence for each image, making use of the preposition of the place. And the number 10 is closing, reviewed, and followed. The class will be concluded by reviewing the topic briefly, and the student will short evaluations. And at the end of the class, this left the teacher know the level of completion of the class. That is all for about my second lesson plans. And in this moment, I'm going to talk about of my two aspects, positive and negative aspect. First, positive, because the teacher can do the class order and can do the or can have the class as the way to satisfactory for the students. Student understand for the activity for because the teacher use the different material didactics. For example, in this case, the topic is necessary to use pictures to explain that each prepositions. The negative aspect is because there aren't many time because sometimes the teacher need to explain or apply to others activity and also do players or plays to do in this class with the students for the students are happy for the class and then we need to change this part in this lesson plan. And that is all for me about this lesson plans. This is all about of my second lesson plan. Thank you very much, teacher.